What's up, CineNerds? I'm JP,
And I'm Ryan.
and today we have a special guest from the film Graveyard Shark, Brandon Wheeler.
Thanks for having me, JP. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you being here. So, you and I talked. It's been was it last year?
Yeah.
Last time I saw you. And I believe it was this movie you were filming when we were talking. You said you were just having a movie that was going to be on Tubi.
That is correct. Yep.
Yeah. So I kind of waited. I don't think it was out on Tubi at the time, was it?
No, I think it was released on Amazon, and then it
Okay.
went to Tubi. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had waited to actually watch this film, and until I saw you posting about it again. Then I was like, oh yeah, Brandon said that he had this film coming out on Tubi, so this must be it. So as soon as I saw you post it, I was like, okay, I've got to watch this now. This film looks like it's down my alley. I like low budget, crappy horror films, and that's kind of a lot of my thing. And so I watched it, and I think I even responded to one of your posts, and I was like, dude, we got to talk about this film. We got this film is kind of bonkers.
Yeah.
In the best way.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got some stuff, man. Yeah.
So how'd you hook up with I guess Matthew Peters is the guy who did the film. How'd you hook up with this?
So he's a local director out in New York, Utica area, and I've always known of his films and wanted to get involved and be a part of it. And it started with a film called Axe Grinder 666, where I went to the showing and watched the movie. I thought it was great, and then after I approached him, and at first it was going to be just kind of like I talked to him about scoring for his films, and then actually, I'm going to take that back. It was another movie. It wasn't Axe Grinder 666. There was another movie that I watched. I think it was 3 Days in the Woods, and then watched that, and I told him, I was like, hey man, the movie was really good, and I could probably add some scoring, for your movies. And then he was like, yeah, that's great, that sounds great. And then fast forward like a couple months later is when he asked about doing Axe Grinder 666. So that's initially how we met and how we kind of got involved with that with this company. So I scored the Axe Grinder 666, and then he was working on Graveyard Shark, and I was interested in the role, so he was holding auditions, and I went through the list of stuff, and I was like, man, I'm really not vibing any of these characters, So I was like, man, I'd like to try to be the shark, I've had a huge I've admired like the Predator, and I've loved the idea of like the person in that suit and what happened, and so I've always wanted to do a character creature. So, and I was like, this is a good opportunity to do that. And I asked him if he had anyone for that role, and he's like, no. So I said, I'd like to do it. And then that's what it was. It was fun. It was fun, man. It was fun. And then I also I ended up doing the scoring for that movie as well.
Yeah.
Did you do the entirety of that?
I did the entirety. There was a couple. Songs in
Actual
there.
songs, yeah.
Yeah, that weren't mine. I think the ending song was in there. But most of them, most of the compositions were mine. Yeah.
So I have to give you a compliment because our own JP, he did our intro, and very similar to some of the other standard movie scores I hear about. But like, I was listening to the score in the background, and I was actually like, this is a pretty decent score. This is cool. And I had no idea you had done it until I got to the end and I started looking at credits and things of that nature. And I was like, okay, that's cool. So definitely a nice work.
Thank you.
Yeah. I had actually told Ryan, I was like, yeah, I've known Brandon. I was like, but I've always known Brandon as a musician, not as an actor. So, but you've recently, and I've noticed, like, just being on Facebook together and us talking in person the few times we've been around each other the past couple of years, that you've the past 2 or 3 years, I think it's been kind of post COVID that you started getting into acting.
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah. So during COVID, like there was a lot of things that were shut down, especially like music
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. And my band kind of dissolved. I was in Granny Four Barrel, so that was no longer existent, and I was kind of just stuck, you know. And I didn't really want to start over and do another band and do this and do that. And I was like, you know, this is maybe my time. I've always wanted to do acting, and so you know, I'm going to give it a shot. So I've been actively doing roles in films for quite a well, yeah, about the last 3 years now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking because we kind of connect here and there, and then I kind of remember some of that because obviously, like you, I'm a musician that I just love film,
Yeah.
and so like when I talked to you, especially when you were diving into this, it was like this is really cool, because this is the shit that I'm into, and it's a different side of what you and I have always kind of been in around each other, because it's always been music, and then so now you kind of dived into this now.
Yeah, I think I mean sometimes it just goes hand in hand. It's art, you know,
Yeah,
entertainment and art and music and movies. I've always been a huge fan of films and
yeah,
wanted to be an actor. So, and I'm also, you know, I was a musician. I still am a musician. So now I'm just kind of like I'm enjoying the acting a lot. It's just another chapter, you
yeah.
know, another chapter of my life. You know, it's fun though. It's fun.
What was the you've got on your Facebook page? You've got it's a recent movie portion that you put up of a young male who's got a gun. He's going through. He's trying to save this woman who's in a garage, and you're talking to him. Which movie is that you're in?
Yeah, so that just recently came out last Friday. That was called Vendetta,
Okay.
and I played an antagonist, Frank, who's a crime boss who he's a horrible guy, man. He kidnaps and kills girls for payout, you know, and he is. There's a little bit more into this story, and I'm sure that they'll probably talk about in the future or their next part of it, I guess. But that was a fun role too. You know,
Well,
I usually am the antagonist, so
well, I just I bring that up because it's got to be night and day difference from being inside of the costume for the shark. So, like, because you actually were putting in some emotion, some lines. You had the delays for the dramatic pause effect. You really were driving it home. So, it's definitely night and day, and I appreciate seeing both sides.
oh yeah, man, thank you. Yeah, it is. You know, and that I guess that's why I did do the character role. You know, and I probably won't do another one again, honestly, unless it was the Predator. You know, I dress up as a
Fair.
Predator. Yeah.
I think all of us would admittedly do that.
Except Jean Claude Van Damme, who quit.
What?
Yeah, he's a prima donna, though. I mean, he was.
You didn't know this, right?
No.
Jean Claude Van Damme was the original Predator in the original Predator film for I think a day or two, and then he quit because it was too hot and too much in the suit.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a great segue. So that's one of my questions. So, what was a day on the set like? Like, did you only have one day of really filming the parts for Shark, or multiple days? How long did it take you to get in this suit? And was it uncomfortable? I mean, tell us a little bit about that.
Oh yeah, so there were multiple days. I think we did shoot a month. There was two scenes in there, I believe, that I was not. We had a stand in. There was the water scene. We had a stunt guy who actually created the costume. He performed that scene, and then there was the one which I don't know if I should give out too much. You know, I don't know if everyone's seen it. But
Fair.
so I'll just leave it at that one scene, the water scene. But yeah, it's the first time I put on the suit. It was about maybe 45 minutes to an hour to do it, to get it on. I had to be completely nude in the suit. I wore underwear, but I had to be completely, you know, no clothes on. The suit was very constricting. And then one of it too was I had to get lubed down, so I had to have a lot of lube over to put the mask on, the hood, the shark head. The lube was all over my face and my arms and my legs just to get the suit. And it took about two people to put on the suit with me. But it was collectively about 200 pounds total with the shark head and the suit, and then there's all these additives like the skirt and the jacket and the gloves and the wrist stuff. So
those are some metal gauntlets for sure.
yeah, they were. Yeah, yeah.
I was going to ask, talking about the suit, like, because you're not a small guy, but you're not a big guy either. And that suit, how thick was that suit? Because
Oh man, it actually helped the character. Honestly, it helps me move to make the character move a certain way. But yeah, it was thick. I mean, the bicep alone, the foam on the bicep was just it was like this,
Yeah.
and then the chest piece, it's pretty thick. Like it was about 200 pounds carrying it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like going forward, you need to say it was just like Spawn, because in Spawn, the actor that was in that, it was only an eighth of an inch thick with the armor. So you got to just roll with that moving forward.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
that shark is beefy. He is built. So it's pretty cool. It makes him definitely more sinister, kind of gives him that badass vibe that you guys did so well.
yeah. There's the one. I mean, there's a lot of challenges inside the suit. I couldn't hear anything, couldn't breathe. Especially so every time we cut, we had to have someone open the mouth so I can breathe in there. I usually had to have someone kind of tap me to I would do the steps. I'd block the scene if I'm walking or if I'm running after someone, and then kind of visualize, because I couldn't see anything either. So I had to remember my steps and everything. And then when director said cut, someone would tap me, and I would move those scenes and kind of keep the blocking that way. But there was that challenge, and then the other challenge was so I had to carry this girl in my lair, right in this hallway, and I with the suit and carrying her, I had to hold her up, like I'm just like, she's doesn't weigh nothing, you know what I mean? She wasn't having a girl, but with the suit and then having that on, it was like, I did that thing 5 takes of it. My arms felt like it was the suit anyways. Like it was my biceps.
I'm only smiling because that piece is fresh in my mind, and I actually thought while I was watching that sequence, how many times did he hit her head on the wall? So,
Not once.
Nice. That's
yeah.
impressive. Okay, cool.
It was good, and just setting her down just as smooth as possible. Like I'm like,
You did for sure.
I was like, yeah. So I'm glad we finally got that take, and it worked out good. But yeah, that was a challenging one. Yeah.
So, did you watch a lot of stuff or channel anything for your movements in the suit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did. I watched.
I have my thoughts on who you reminded me of, but I want to see what you say.
Yeah, I did. I watched Predator, all the Predator movies, and then I watched the newest Alien, because I did want to get a little bit of movements and kind of like quick turns with the head and stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Predator definitely was a huge, just watching him move. And then I did a lot of kind of like watching animals like wolves and stuff, just the way this, when they or even the lions. I watch a lot of lion films too, just to see how they like approach, and stealth and stalk. So
See, I got the Predator feel, but you may laugh at the other thing that I was thinking that you might have been channeling was Lou Ferrigno's the Hulk. Even though he's not in a suit, He's just so
Oh
big,
yeah.
and the way he kind of naturally moves. Some of that, I felt like I saw some of that with you. So that was why I
Oh,
asked.
that's cool. Yeah, no, I didn't even think of that. That's a good point. I should have done that.
Yeah,
That would have been,
I
yeah.
actually, I actually appreciate that you watched Romulus for some inspiration there, because one of the things I always think of, like in my head when I hear even just about any kind of a shark scenario, is if you remember in I think it was Alien Resurrection, where they're
Mhm.
underwater and they have
Yep.
that swim sequence, kind of similar vibe with that to me. So I like that you noted that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I didn't want to watch a lot of shark stuff because you
Fair.
know it was, I don't know. I wanted to. I don't know. It was fun trying to dive into and mold that character. So hopefully it turned out decent. You know.
yeah. No, I had a lot of fun watching this film, and I really did. And um, when the movie made a turn for me, when I was like, okay, this movie's really fantastic, is when that captain, what's his character's name? The captain,
Captain Isaac
Isaac.
Seaburn.
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
As soon as he came in and he told the backstory of the graveyard shark, how this came to be and everything. Not even just that. When he came into the group meeting with
Yeah,
the
that was it for
survivors,
me for sure.
when he kind of has that whole Friday the 13th, like you're all doomed kind of thing. And but then when the backstory came in and everything with the captain, I was like, this is fantastic. This guy needs to be in more films.
Yeah, and he's. I mean, they were all fantastic, actors. I really, honestly, was watching them, and they were funny, funny actors, and really into their role too. But he's really good on. I mean, I don't know if they released any outtakes, but man, there's some funny moments with him. Like his improv skills are off the chain.
I would love to see those outtakes, because yeah, so that actor, I don't know his name offhand, I just know the character's name, and there's just something different about him when he came on the set. He definitely like owned the screen for that moment and had my attention, because he was so bizarre but so like flowing naturally. So I
Hmm.
was very, very fond of when he came in for sure. Like JP said, I was cracking up. But this segue, and we've probably already just inflated him as it is. But my question to you, obviously Graveyard Shark aside, who would be your favorite character outside of Graveyard Shark in the film?
You know, I did like the captain, and I did like I know her name. Actually, I don't know the character's name, but her name is Stephanie. She was the lead actress, and
Oh yeah, okay.
Abby.
yeah,
She played
Abby.
Abby.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was very because she had an arc in her story, and there's a lot of emotional side to her, and but she was also quirky and funny too. So it was, and I like those kind of characters. There's a lot of dimensions to them. Kind of like the captain.
Yeah.
She was great, and she, like when they were trying to do their little commercial in the beginning portion, she you could tell there was this awkward quirkiness where they were just trying to get the point across. But then when they went into the room with just her and the other guy, it was she's like, this is dog shit. Like she was just, there was something real that she portrayed from that moment, and you could tell it wasn't just about a marketing pitch. So she definitely was cool, and I like her story as it progressed and built into the werewolf and her father, and then her not even seeing her partner. Like it really grew. So yeah, she's a great choice.
Yeah, yeah. Greg was good too. Her partner. He was like the funny moments of like he's worked on it all night and he's like believes it's good, and yeah, those two dynamic was really good together too.
So where was this filmed at?
So this was filmed in a couple locations. I think it was in Little Falls, New York, which is the same town that Quiet Place was filmed.
Oh,
Okay.
interesting.
Are you in New York now again, or are you still in North Carolina?
Now I live in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, I knew because didn't you used to live in the New York area?
I did, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. And that's what I thought, because I didn't know if you had traveled or if it was just you had moved back and then hooked up with that director.
Now wait a minute.
Yeah.
Now wait a
So
minute.
that
I'm
was
sorry. Let me interrupt here. Were you
yeah.
born and raised in North Carolina, or born and raised somewhere else?
No, I was born and raised in New York.
Okay,
Yep.
because JP's got the accent, and I just was checking. I just wanted to see.
No, I'm from North Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think I do remember. I remember you saying that too.
Yeah, Waylon and I both are from the mountains of North Carolina, so we're on the Tennessee side,
Hmm.
north of Charlotte. If you're in Charlotte, I'm from we're from Wilkesboro, North Carolina, which is right around Boone, above
Yep.
Asheville and all that. So
Yep. I know where that is too. Yeah, I'm on the state line. So Charlotte, Charlotte's it's a huge city. It's got all these little towns and so mine is like I'm on the border, a state line of South Carolina and North Carolina.
yeah,
It's Fort Mill.
yeah, I know where you're at.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and you've got Carowinds there, where you can actually step over the state lines. They're in the
Yes.
theme park.
Yep.
So
Yep.
and yeah. So yeah, I spent a lot of time in Charlotte. I spent a lot of time in Belmont.
Oh yeah, Belmont, dude. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's yep.
yeah. I
Yep.
had my mom's best friend for growing up when I was little. We would always go up there and visit her, and she lived in Belmont, and so we would go up there all the time. So I'm really familiar with Belmont, Concord. Obviously, I used to go to concerts in Charlotte all the time.
Hmm.
Um, at it's not there anymore, but Ground Zero. Or no, Ground Zero is Spartanburg. It's Charlotte had what was that venue it shut down? Tremont Music Hall, but it shut down years ago. I used to go there all the time, and then obviously Amos's, I think, is still there, and some of those other places there in Charlotte. We used to always go play shows and go to shows.
Yeah, yeah. I've been a couple. I've been to a couple. Snug Hub. I've
Hmm.
been to. Seen some bands there. Trying to get out more and see some bands. I think I missed you guys when I think you played in South Carolina.
We did play Ground Zero. We were supposed to play the other place in Greenville,
Yep. Okay.
but
Yep.
they were moving venues, and we were supposed to be the first show at the new venue, but they wasn't ready to open, and so they moved it to back to Ground Zero in Spartanburg.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I actually I think I had to do a film too, and I was like, I'm gonna miss it. Usually anytime you guys come out, I
Yeah,
watch it.
yeah,
Um. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, I got a couple questions for you. The
Yeah.
first one is obviously, I went down your IMDb, and I've got some new films to check out now, so I'm excited about those. But you have 6 films credited on there that are current. There's a couple upcoming we'll talk about later. Out of the 6 that you're credited with, I couldn't tell the one that you actually mentioned this one before, Axe Grinder 666.
Yeah.
It looked like you were credited as an actor, but it said composer. So I didn't know if you did both or how that transpired. But my question is, of the 6 films on there, you've got 4 shorts, Axe Grinder 666, and the Hollow horror anthology. One of those is your favorite to work on?
Okay. So. Axe Grinder 666 was only scoring.
Okay.
The music for that is I enjoyed it. I did a lot of rock elements with that movie. And then out of the other movies, we have one called Reviled that's I really like. It's still in the film circuit. It's got a couple awards. I actually went up against and we went to Chandler, Arizona, and me and Tara Reid were going up against each other for Best Actor and Best Film. And we hung out for I think it was 3 or 4 days together, and we would joke around, saying like, "Oh, you're gonna win. Your movie's gonna win. You're gonna get Best Actor." And I'd be like, "No, Tara, I'm pretty sure. I think you're gonna win." And she's like, "No, I don't know. I think you're gonna win, Brandon. I'm pretty sure." and it was just bantering, fun bantering, hanging out and stuff like that together. And but Reviled is still on the circuit, and that's probably my favorite. So when that does come out, I'll let you guys know. It's a the character. I just really like the character a lot.
Peter?
That it played. Peter, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm excited to check that out. And then there was Mirage, there was Stranded and Abyss, and then I said the Hollow, the anthology. So excited to check all those out.
Yeah, Stranded is actually myself and a friend from New York. He wrote that script and was a DOP and directed it, and then I did the music for that as well and acted in it. So that was kind of like a fun project that we did together. And actually, I don't want to give it away, but I'll let you watch it. So I don't know, maybe I will. Just like, but I did play the werewolf in it too.
Lyric?
Okay.
Was that?
Lyric, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I wrote down all the names. I'm definitely curious to check all these out. Go ahead, JP.
And you had emailed me whenever you sent me an email with some info. You said you've got a film that you are trying to get made, or a series you're trying to get made for 4311 Express.
Yeah. Yep. So I am currently the script. The first episode, it's going to be 6 to 8 episodes. Did the film permit, waiting on. I got a train. And then the goal is to get a 5, just a clip of the scene of the episode, and then pitch it. I have an executive producer, and then I have a director and a media crew. So trying to pitch it to Netflix and see what they do with that. Yeah, but I think it's going to be different, and it is, as far as like challenging. There's going to be a lot of, and throughout the season, there's going to be a lot of these characters. You're going to try to figure out what's really happening. It's a psychological horror thriller, so. When you think you're going to see something, or what what it is, it's completely the opposite. So
Yeah. And
Yeah.
you doing any kind of casting calls for that right now, or?
So yes, one is, which I'm trying to. I gotta talk to her and work that out with her scheduling. But there's a couple. I have actresses in mind. Tara Reid is one, and then I do have a couple other actors that I'm gonna try to solidify, but it really has to do with like Eric Roberts is one.
Oh, that's
Nice.
awesome. That's
We
awesome.
just talked about
we
him.
just did an episode. We talked in a pretty length about Eric Roberts. So
Yeah. So I'm trying to, and then I'll be acting in it as well. So that's why I wanted to get a director to direct it, and I was gonna direct it, but I was like, man, I really like this character myself, and I'm gonna try a different role other than being a antagonist psycho.
yeah, that's cool. That sounds great, especially if you can get Eric Roberts and Tara Reid. I mean, that's that would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm on board just hearing those two names.
Yeah.
I also kind of like the ironic connection of you befriending Tara Reid, Sharknado, and now Graveyard Shark.
Yeah, that's something that we did talk about. Yeah, we did talk about that too. It is funny. She did mention about she is working on a movie that she wants me to be in. So I mean, I'm just waiting to I know she's busy, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So first thing I'll say, your new upcoming one that you were just talking about, the series, if you need background extras free of charge, CineNerds are available. That aside, there's a couple other upcomings that you have in your credits for IMDb. One of them is Banner, and it says To Seek Refuge, and the other one is Dragon Morphers. So you want to talk about those at all?
Yeah, so I was attached to the Dragon Morphers, which is, I believe it's a Power Ranger short. I know I was attached to it, but I haven't gotten any script or any commitment on it, so I'm not sure. But Banner is Banner is in the works. It's about the Hulk, you know. So
That's perfect.
yeah, I know, right? Um, my character is a crooked deputy, so you know, and I'm looking for David Banner and a refugee that sneaks in, and you know, I just despise them. So I'm going to try to go after both of them, and then obviously, you know, David Banner and Hulk is, you know, Hulk. So, so
You could borrow that graveyard shark suit and just paint it green.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think that they were going to have this actor do that. They were gonna. I think they were gonna have him do that because he was a pretty big guy. But I believe they went through the CGI route.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Cool.
yeah.
See if we got anything else. Is there anything else you want to talk about Graveyard Shark? I mean, you sent me photos of like the burns from the suit on you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
So the
Tell us
suit
about that.
was the suit was so constricting, and I would wear it for. My first time I wore it because I was like, you know what, the guy in the Predator wore it for 16 hours. You know what, I can do this, right? And the first day I did it, like the suit was so constricted, I got blisters on my legs and my arms, and it would retain water, so that 200 pounds, like I'm sweating, and there was no way of it releasing. So all that water was just inside the suit, adding more weight to it. So when I took the suit off, just water just kind of like poured out. I lost probably, I think it was like 15 pounds
Wow.
doing it. Yeah. But I would get burns. And so after that initial day for the 16 hours I wore it, I even drove my car. I think I have some pictures of that too. I drove my car with a suit on to the next location.
I would love to be the passerby seeing that happen. That's so
Yeah.
great.
Just this giant scaffold suit. And then, so I don't know. And there's the amount of time that it was easier taken off because there was a zipper in the back, so I would just unzip it and it would just, you know, water would just pour out, and man. But I still had the scars from the suit. So
Oh wow. So you literally put your heart and soul into that.
yeah, I did.
That's great.
After that first day, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to do this. Once I started feeling my leg, my calf burn, it felt like cuts. I was like, okay, I gotta take it off. So it didn't really slow down production. We just had to do different scenes in between of me taking an hour off, a break from the suit, and then putting it back on.
So we're obviously pre-recording this, but when we release this, we'll give everyone the heads up to check out Graveyard Shark on Tubi. So I'm not giving away too much here by saying this, but so Abby, first of all, there's a great whole finale of a werewolf versus Graveyard Shark. I fucking was here for that. I always love two baddies going at it, and I really wasn't expecting the werewolf thing to happen. So I was I was definitely here for that. I thought it was so quirky and amazing. But Abby, she doesn't put it in your asshole, thank God. But she's got her like trident tool that Captain Isaac Seaburn he kept referencing. Putting it up your asshole to kill you, and I laughed every time. But Abby doesn't do that, but she does stab you a couple times. So my question is Graveyard Shark alive? Will we see another?
That one's a mystery. I don't know. It's possible. It is possible. Honestly.
I feel like this character's great timing with the remake of A Toxic Avenger, because I feel like Graveyard Shark could be a great sidekick or additional friend to Toxie. There's a trauma vibe there for sure.
Oh yeah, and that would be, you know, that would be awesome. One thing that I did remember when I put the suit on, when I didn't have all the other stuff, you know, I was like, man, this reminds me of Street Sharks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I was like, ah, man, we should just do a quick video of Street Sharks or something.
It's funny. So I'm a Funko Pop nerd. I collect all the Funko Pops, right? And they just released 2 of the Street Sharks in Funko. So I was laughing about that because I just saw that they released those yesterday, and I'd watched the film yesterday. So it was quite amazing.
So,
I wish Graveyard Shark had a Funko, man. That'd be cool.
that's what I was gonna say. We need to just take those Street Shark ones, repaint them, and repurpose them. Get have a package made, a custom package made for Graveyard Shark, and
So 2 things. I actually know people who make it an art to customize those, and then the other thing is they have the pop yourself, so it's doable.
Oh,
So
wow, okay.
yeah, that'd be really cool. Well deserved character too. I want to talk a little bit about Captain Isaac Seaburn's quotes in this too, because a couple of these lines, I was like, what? One of them is "suck my dick from the back, slurp slurp."
Yeah, yeah.
That was amazing. And then the other one was, "if it smells like fish, eat all you wish."
Yeah, honestly, if I remember, I don't believe that was in the script. I think those are I think those are improv. Yeah.
Burndell March is the actor's name, and kudos to him for his improv. And he definitely killed it.
I was looking on the IMDb, and it says in the trivia for this film that the silicone muscle suit for Graveyard Shark was purchased from a sex shop in China.
I did not know that.
That's on IMDb. It could be true. It might not be. I don't know. But I was reading that fact on IMDb.
What's the real reason for those scars?
Yeah.
No, that aside, so we talk about Burndell March doing the improv. Is there any moments that you improv with Shark?
No, I mean, I was limited with a lot of stuff that I could do. I mean, I think that was the most challenging, especially as an actor, not being able to kind of show any emotion, you know. So I think the only improv, I didn't do any improvs. Yeah, I had to block a lot of scenes just for memory, just because I couldn't see and hear anything.
You already had enough challenges ahead of you. I got you.
Yeah.
I feel that wearing a mask on stage. So.
Yeah, I mean, can you breathe in yours?
Not really.
No. Yeah. See, masks look cool, man, but oof.
And I obviously I have eye holes, but my peripheral, this is what I see. So if which sucks because if you're on stage and you got 5 other guys running around stage, you can't see where they're at. You have to turn your head to make sure you're not going to hit somebody. So on stage, I have this vision. Then you was talking about not being able to hear. Yeah, that's another thing. You can't hear.
I love you, JP, but we're talking apples and oranges here.
Oh no, his is way worse than mine.
Yeah.
I get it. I'm just saying that it's the not being able to hear, the not being able to breathe. I get it. It sucks, and those fucking, as soon as you have your head covered, it's like, fuck this.
Yeah, I will say too, putting on that shark head, I had to do about it was so claustrophobic. So, and I don't really have claustrophobia, you know what I mean? So, but when I put that on, like every time I had to give myself like 30 seconds to a minute to breathe and calm down. Just because there was like a little panic, as soon as because I had to. It was a lot of putting it on, so I lubing my face and my head up and then sliding it on. And then once it was on, it was like, wow, like where am I? What's going on?
You got to kill both your dads. Which one was your favorite?
That was, I want to say oh man, they both were good though. They were both good.
I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it was a good segue. I liked how Captain Isaac was trying to talk to you normal for a minute, and then you just went at it, went right into him. It was perfect.
I think I did. I can remember that scene, and that was a real heart too, not a human's heart, but an animal's heart. I know that. I think it was a cow, and
I was going to ask, some of the special effects look like real meat and shit.
yeah, that was yeah, yeah, it was real. Yeah, it smelled too. It smelled. Oh, yeah, to hold it in my hand. I was like, yeah, that was too. That was we had. I think we did it 2 takes, but the gloves. So the gloves for the shark, there was there was no grip. You know what I mean? So when I'm grabbing onto actors, or even the heart, trying to find the heart in that cavity, I was like, it was me really trying to find it because it was like I had it, but I was slipping. You know, it
Yeah.
was just slipping all over. So yeah, that was fun. And then like when I was like grabbing I think one of the characters' throat, I'd grab it and it would just slide right off. It was like it was fun though.
I was unexpecting. It was unexpecting to run across a couple other characters in this film that kind of, if there were a universe where Graveyard Shark expanded and there was more going on and it kept going, Pookie and Doug cracked me the frick up. I mean, they were great comedic relief. The language too with Doug, like the whole trying to decipher what he's saying.
That ice cream, yeah.
Yeah, I loved every bit of it. I mean, so JP is a character for pushing a lot of low budget independent films at me, and not all of them pan out where I'm like thrilled about it. This one I was unexpectedly really happy across the board. It started off a little weak and grew really strong really fast, and I was laughing my ass off. It was great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. And I think that's what it is. I found myself kind of like you're laughing, and all of a sudden you get moments of shock. Like, wait a minute, what?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know, those are the best.
The horror element too. I mean, so it was great. The doctor when she got killed, the scene with the two deputies when they were killed, there was a lot of good kills in this for sure. I was almost positive you bit the deputy's boob, but there's no teeth marks later on. So, but it looks good.
And again, I probably did, and I couldn't even see anything. No, I couldn't see no boobs or nothing on set.
All right.
But it came out good, and I'm happy you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one, and like I said at the beginning of the episode, he just kind of mentioned it. Now, I love shit films, and so nobody knows whenever, especially when I select a movie for the podcast, they never know if it's going to be like actually a cinematic masterpiece or if it's just going to be a fucking off ludicrous fucking film that I just happen to love and think is great.
Yeah.
And nobody really knows exactly what they're going to get whenever I pick a film. And so when I was telling Ryan about Graveyard Shark, and obviously, he's like, all right, we're going to see, but a film called Graveyard Shark, obviously that's kind of a telltale that this is a JP film, that this could go either way. I'm either going to love it or hate it,
But it was it was better than some of his like. So I don't know if you ever seen The Party Animal, but it's really bad. And he made me watch that, and I was really mad at him. So now I question these things whenever I get a movie title. I'm like, is this going to be as bad as Party Animal, JP? And that's kind of my like standard for where I put it. And no, this was light years above that. So we definitely appreciate you and what you did and what you brought to the screen.
Thank you. Mad Angel Films, Matt, he's a good director and he's a good writer too. So, he has very good development for characters, good storylines, and I don't know. I enjoy working with him. I know he gave me another movie to score that I'm working on now, called Blood Red Beach. It's a pirate movie. So nice. I only could see bits and pieces of it. But scoring for it's been pretty fun, using a lot of elements.
You know what? I think we're overdue for some pirate horror. That would be great.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. That's you. I haven't seen anyone do anything along those lines, and I'm sure JP has something up his sleeve that did something along
I'm
those
gonna be
lines.
honest with you. Pirate horror. The only thing that comes to mind is John Carpenter's The Fog.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's the only thing that comes to mind for me.
Well, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. I want to see this Blood Red Beach. I want to hear about what you got going on with Banner and also with the Netflix pitch. I think that these are all great.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Again, it's just I like to stay busy, so sometimes like a lot of people tell me to chill out for a little bit. Like my son usually will say, "Dad, stop. You're working too much." You know.
Well, that's me. I literally tour. I come home. I go straight back to work. I jump right back into the podcast, and then after Ryan and I are filming, I'm editing. I have to stay busy. I have to constantly do something, and I'm sure Ryan sees it with me, because I'll do something and just send it or whatever, and I just have to keep moving,
Yeah, I don't know what I would do. Like sometimes like when I don't do something, I'm kind of like I'll sit in my room and I'm like, what the heck? I don't like this. What is this feeling?
Yeah.
And then I just start working on a script. That's why I'm hoping like this 4311 Express, pans out because there's a lot of other movies, other series that I'd like to do. Sci-fi one that I got, but we'll see.
Near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Whenever you say sci-fi, I'm here.
We're huge sci-fi nerds, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely, especially kind of like I mean, it's not really Star Warsy, but it's got some elements. It's darker. It's not a PG movie or PG-13.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
I just gave the original Blade Runner director's cut a rewatch, and I hadn't watched it in some time, and I love the beauty and the darkness, and even the quiet that happens throughout the movie as you build the characters up. So I'm always here for that kind of darkness. That's I think it makes for a beautiful film.
Yeah, Pathkeeper is actually that's the name of it. The sci-fi that I didn't write based off of Blade Runner. It's more of like an imagery,
Okay,
darkness,
cool.
a lot of action. There's a story, but yeah. So it's I don't know. Let's see if it gets done. I know it's going to be a lot as far as special effects and green screen and stunts, but we'll see.
okay.
Cool.
Alrighty. We'll just hop back in. CineNerdsPodcast.com. You can follow us. All of our new releases there. We have our shop there. You can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that. You can catch wrong way. You can catch Brandon on Tubi. You can watch Graveyard Shark on Tubi, and it's on Amazon as well, correct?
Yeah, you can purchase it or rent it on Amazon. Yeah.
Is there
What are your I was gonna say, what are your socials, Brandon, so that people can find you?
Facebook, Instagram, IMDb, TikTok.
The usual.
I really don't do a lot of Instagram too much. I should though, but mostly I'm on Facebook, and you can just I don't know private message me or whatever. Probably take a minute for me to get back, but I usually respond.
Cool.
Alrighty. All right, till next time, guys.
Brandon, thank you so much. We loved having you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
It was such a treat.
It's been fun.
Thank you, Brandon. And we'll definitely be talking soon. I definitely want to be checking out like a lot of stuff you got coming up that we talked about on here. So.
Oh yeah, man. Definitely keep in touch. Absolutely, guys. Thank
always.
you.
Yeah. All right. Till next time. Later.
CineNerds out.